The United States is a country that was founded and operates on the rule of law. Through the years, the American society has grown and prospered under these laws. But the poor people, the bottom fifth of the social ladder, the disadvantaged with their limited resources, with a lesser knowledge of their rights under law, have not had the full advantage of the law. Lawyers and legal processes cost money, something poor people don't have much of. Roger Hurley represents a new look in the law. One relatively unpublicized aspect of the federal war on poverty is the legal services funding provision that sets up the machinery for furnishing legal aid to the poor. In Cleveland, in cooperation with the Office of Economic Opportunity, the Legal Aid Society, in the spring of 1966, established 5 neighborhood law offices, staffed with men like Roger Hurley. Setting up a practice in Glenville was not the easiest thing for Roger Hurley, who is the product of a white suburban middle-class background.
I went out to Glenville with a sort of an inferiority complex because I was aware intellectually that the Negro community, not necessarily generally, but that there's a lot of examples in the Negro community of white people who go into the community and more or less make a living from the Negroes' suffering. And I knew that I had to overcome sort of a presumption that here I was another whitey. I tried to do this the only way I know how, and that's by serving individual clients and hoping that those clients, after they've been properly served, would tell others that I am at least trustworthy, although I'm white, assuming you agree with the principle that most people are poor not because they're lazy or because they don't care, but because they're victims of circumstance. Then it's not hard after you accept that basic principle to apply the conclusion that follows that they're entitled to lawyers too, and that's what we're trying to do throughout the city is to more or less present the poor person with a sounding board to get to talk to a lawyer and not have to wait in line and not have to feel he's getting a handout. The poor person's problems, if I had to have one word to describe them, are basic, and basic is the key word. The middle-class individual in an urban community has these problems, is able to deal with them generally himself, or can get advice as to how to deal with them. It's a vastly different thing than a person living in Parma or some other middle-class community has when they have a problem with their spouse or their children. The poor person doesn't know where to go.
Now, if the bailiff comes out here, he has the legal right to remove all of your furnishings and put the furnishings in the street.
The law on landlord and tenant on the books of the state is rather limited as to what a tenant can do, because the law presumes that if a tenant doesn't like his apartment, he can always move.
Presents your landlord and gets you more time. But I want to know whether you have made any attempts to get any more time. Did you ask anybody or talk to anybody about getting more time before the bailiff comes out here?
I did talk. I did try to reach someone, but I called Mr.
The attorney?
Yeah, and he refused. He said he couldn't give us any more time.
Well, how far behind are you in your rent, Bertha? How many months?
Well, with the new owner, I don't feel that we are...
No. I mean the whole thing. How many months are you behind? As far as
I would say about two and a half months.
2.5 months. How long has your husband been out of work?
Since January 13th.
He's been out since...
Forcible entry into detainer statute doesn't take into consideration a welfare client or a poor person who can't afford to move and who's stuck with that place because he's got 8 kids. And there isn't anywhere else in the city he feels he can go.
I was over there talking to her, and we're going like crazy trying to get her a place in which to live. And of course, the kids are the primary consideration as to why we're involved. I see. But there's no, in other words, they wouldn't come up, like if we come up with 25 or something, nothing's happening. Well, all right, Sam. Thanks for your time. I got you. Right. On a Saturday. Yeah. 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 Yeah, well, I've got three people looking for houses. It's the problem with is the 8 kids. If an emergency comes up, we'll go to the Salvation Army or somebody, you know. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know what the answer is. Okay, well, thanks for your time, and if perchance the client wants to come up, you know, it would take a few bucks for a few days. All right, I got you. We'll see you. Goodbye.